Hi, my name is Joanne Milne. I'm an accredited mediator. And so the question here is, when would I consider using an alternative approach to the classical mediation process? And so I can think of a few examples, starting with where there's been bullying or discrimination. Clearly there's been some wrongdoing on the part of one person. In this instance, it's not appropriate to bring parties together in a no-blame, neutral environment looking at solutions. The responsibility rests with the individual who has been bullying or discriminating, and it needs to be approached with that in mind. And so I would recommend an alternative approach to deal with that. Another situation where classical mediation is not particularly effective would be in a hierarchical situation. Consider the military or the police, where there are clear division between rank, and a rule of thumb would be between 3 ranks mediation works quite well, but anything greater than that, and we would want to use alternative methods. For example, a colonel with a sergeant, mediation wouldn't work particularly well there. Also, if we think about where conflict has occurred for a period of time, mediation in its classical sense, the day with all parties in the room, works best in the earlier stages of conflict. And so where it's been ongoing for a while, where cliques are forming or have formed, people's opinions have become fairly entrenched and battle lines are drawn up, mediation isn't going to be particularly effective, and so I would be recommending looking at other ways of dealing with that. Think about the media, for example, when they report on a strike situation and the trade union and the government call in mediators very late in the day. It's not going to have the desired effect that it could have had they done that at the earliest stage. And finally, where I can think of an example I actually mediated, where there had already been a ruling where somebody had been held to account, and a complaint one party had made against the other had been partially upheld. The only way to mediate in that situation was to establish clear ground rules of the day of what was achievable, what would be addressed within the framework of no blame and solution focus, and what we wouldn't be including. And so the part which had been upheld, the person had been held to account, we simply eliminated that from the mediation discussion. And so where there's been already a decision made, we would be looking at other ways of resolving the conflict than just the classical mediation approach.